Alright, hey guys, we're back here. Again, I know it's been a while, but this is a deck that I was requested to help with a while ago. And this is the 3-card combo I came up with. This is going to be Valiance as the main engine, but I figured we could probably try the super heavy samurai build out, and it kind of worked out a minute. It's not probably the most optified if you want to play it like Valiant style, but I like combo decks and pendulums where you're playing a bunch of stuff. So I thought this build was cool. And this is what I came up with for that 3-card combo, which is going to have your Bike, your Shinome, and Nizuki. Now this can also be your Wakashi. It will accomplish the same thing, except you can't do the Excel Synchron plays. It just gets you your Link too. So either way you want to look at it, still technically works. But yeah, just keep in mind you can small world into these, but then you have the spell and graveyard, so you can, but you really can't. So they're also good small world bridges, since the machines can go into the machines, and the level 4 can go into the level 4, and this is level 8. This is level 4. So yeah. Either way, we're gonna go and activate and search the Bike to search our Wakashi, and then Wakashi will go and activate here. And keep in mind, depending on where you activate Wakashi is dependent on where you'll play the rest of your hand. So just keep in mind where you summon these guys. The reason why is because you're going to keep him on the board after you synchro into your Baron. So you need your Baron to be adjacent or to the corner of him. So like vertically to him. So if he's here, you need the Baron here. If he's here, you need the Baron here. Or here, you need the Baron here. So you can play on the other side, because your Valiance needs to go into this L shape, which is blocked by this zone if he's there. So keep that in mind. So now we're just going to go and use his effect to search for the Soul card, and we're going to search the Mask, the only one we play. You can easily play any of the other level 4s that just normal summon themselves. This one targets the Super Heavy Samurai, considered as a tuner, but it is a free special summon. So that's cool. You can technically just play the ones that normal summon themselves, but this is just the free summon, and you don't really need the other effects of the cards. It is just here to get into your Synchro 10 and free advantage. And we're going to go ahead and summon out your Baron de Fleur because of Excel Synchron, just being Excel Synchron. And remember to summon it to the zone across, I don't really know, vertically across from your pendulum zone, like blue to whatever. Now we're going to activate our Shinone first, and then we're going to just use her effect to special summon himself. All the Valiants have the same pendulum effect, except for like the bigger guys. They require either the same attribute that they are, so like in this case the water, or the field spell. The water ones need the Shinari Bansino, or whatever it is. I am horrible with card pronunciations. But we have the water monster either way, and we're going to be searching the field spell anyways. So while you control her as a special summon monster, you can once per turn search for a spell, or a Valiant spell. And this Valiant spell is going to be the Var, Land of Beginning. The reason why is because we need the field spell, and like I said, we need to get rid of Benki. So we could use Baron to destroy Benki, or we can just use Valiant's second effect to destroy Benki for us and get us a free move, Senate Switch. This essentially makes Senate Switch free in the deck and this card actually playable, and of course it banishes this and then places your Valiant's Pendulum monster in your Pendulum zone. So face up Valiant's monster. So going second, turn 3, it comes up. Either way, you're going to go and activate your field spell, and you're going to go and use its effect, or you have to activate the other from the deck. If you can't, you can't activate it. Either way, we're going to go and use it, and then place him in that scale, and use his effect to summon himself. Now he is one of our movers, one of the two, the other being that level 2 super. But we're going to go and move our Shinone over here, and then her effect triggers to go ahead and add us a level, or any Valiance monster to our hand. The one we want to go for is Voltage Viscount in this scenario. Then we're going to go ahead and special summon. We're going to go into Beyond the Pendulum here. Now I'm going to summon it above Baron de Fleur, just because we want to play with this opposite space open. And then we're going to go ahead and add to our hand. Whatever high scale you want to play here, I'm playing the Mosaic Knight. You can play those scale 9 Spirit Brothers or whatever, the wind ones that have monster effects, but they return themselves after you pendulum summon. So it's all the same thing, but this guy places it himself on top or bottom of the deck, and when you draw it, you can reveal it, and then during that main phase you can conduct an extra pendulum summon from the hand. And he's also scale 11 instead of 9, so you can use him to bring your fusions back. So that's why I would recommend him. Up to you. It doesn't really matter as long as you're playing the 9 or 11. Here we're going to go ahead and activate him, but we're going to do it in this pendulum zone just so we can play with Viscount a bit. Then we're going to go and activate here, and then we're just going to go ahead and special summon. And then we're going to go ahead and bring out, you can go into anything you really want here. If you want to go ahead and bring out the Shenying, you can, if you really wanted to, bring out Shenying with the Baronne, but you're not really banishing a lot, so it's kind of up to you, but you can, because you can bring out him, which is a level 4 tuner, so you technically have the option to bring him out with your other 6 samurai to go into a Synchro 12, him for a Synchro 10, or a Synchro 6. So we're just going to bring out these two, because for demonstrative purposes, it doesn't matter. You want to assess the situation where to go from there. Because at worst, you're just going to be bringing out another monster. Mosaic Knight here, we're going to use its effects mandatory, and we're just going to place it on bottom of the deck, because you can put it on top if you want, but I'd rather draw something else. That is one thing. You won't have your high scales for next turn, so you gotta decide what you want to do about that. I thought about playing this guy. Don't, because you cannot summon Valiants on non-Valiants monsters. So take him out, and also use OCG anyways. But besides that, you have your 2 Synchro 6 you can go into. Juju, because you have the mask and the Bike Engrave, you can meet his requirements to target a send a monster on field. And then him, if you use the Pendulum monster for the Synchro, your opponent chooses one monster they control and you take control of the monster, but he cannot attack this turn. So you can just summon him, take a monster. Your opponent gives you a monster, so it's technically not card effect game mechanic, if I'm reading it correctly, so it gets around non-targetable effect monsters like that. They only have one on board, and you can, instead of just going straight into Appaloosa right here with your Pendulum summon monsters, you can take one of your opponent's monsters with you. So that's cool. But we're just going to go ahead and just go into your Appaloosa here. And you can honestly just leave it here if you really wanted to. It's a pretty decent board. You got 3 negates, 3 monster, or 2 monster and a Omni. But we're going to can play a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and activate his effect. His effect will go ahead and place face a Valiance monster from the extra deck into your spell and trap zone. Now keep in mind, if you place him in the Pendulum zone, he won't get his Pendulum effect because of how the card's worded. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and activate Shimbero to go ahead and special summon him back. And then all we have to do here is contact fuse into this guy. That is all you have to do. And now you have him on board. So if this is special summon, you'll target the card monster in your opponent's spell and trap zone and return it to hand. And if you do inflict damage to your opponent, it's equal to its attack. This card gains attack equal. So you're not going to really be able to do that. And then we can just go into like IP or really whatever we want here. If we were smarter, we would have done something else. And I'm going to show it to you real quick. So what we're going to do is you want to keep the Apo on field. Sorry. You want to keep the Apo on field, obviously. It's just we should have saved our monsters. So disregard this. The Apo's still on field, but we just didn't use these monsters yet. So we're going to go and summon the Cross Sheep. And we're going to go and activate our Sentence Switch. Just keep in mind that the Appaloosa should still be up here. It's just that I'm showing you at different routes. So you could have just left it there and linked 2 into IP with these 2 guys and just pass. after you use the Baron negate and then link 3 into Unicorn and stuff like that. But what we're going to do here is pretend we just linked 2 into Cross Sheep instead of going straight into Appaloosa. Now the reason for this is because we can activate Senate Switch here to go and move Voltage Discount. And then that triggers his effect when he's moved to go and place a Valiant's Pendulum monster into our Pendulum Zone. Now that gives his effect live. So now we have our scale back and our field's better. Now here we would obviously, since we still have the 1, 2, 4 monsters because we linked off Beyond the Pendulum and one of our monsters that we use for the summon, we'll go ahead and go into Appaloosa here. But since we didn't do that, we're just going to pretend that this is Appaloosa. So this is what your board's going to look like in a simple 3-card combo. It's better if you have more cards in your hand, but then again, this is Valiance, so it's not the best deck in the first place. It's just fun. And then don't forget to do Baron Pop, because if you don't, your opponent wins. And you got the mover effect, and you can also special summon itself. So that's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. And if you're playing, Cross Sheep will not summon these guys from graveyard, because you can only summon Valiance monsters unless it's from the extra deck, so not even from graveyard. So Cross Sheep's not really good in this deck for that reason alone. The only guys that don't lock you into Valiance after you special summon them are going to be the fusions, but you usually don't have the fusions out in time. So this is your end board. Your IP is supposed to be here if you're smarter, unlike me. Or your your Appaloosa with 3 instead of 2. And yeah, you honestly didn't even have to do that. You could have kept your scale 1, or you can even search Van Maquis. To search, you don't have to go into this guy, but after you get the Baron and Pendulum summon and then go into your Link 4 or your Synchro 6 or whatever you want to do there, it's really up to you what you do from that combo. Usually I just go into IP and pass. That's just me. That's what I would have done here, but I didn't. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, see you in a bit.